And today we're going to do something a little bit different. Just wanted to get a moment with y'all and get outside the kitchen and talk a little bit. And today I want to talk about something that I think everybody loves, cheese. And talk about the importance of it. And talk about what it means to go in your food and what it means to add it to a dish. And I wanted to let you guys get a moment in my brain and pick my brain a little bit about this. So today we're going to talk about 3 cheeses in particular. We're going to talk about Westminster year-old aged cheddar. We're going to talk about my favorite, which is Feta. And this particular Feta right here is a tomato and basil Feta. And then we're going to talk about one of my favorite other cheeses, which is a wine-soaked Point Noir cheddar. So without further ado, okay, the first cheese we're going to talk about is our Westminster over here. It's our year-aged sharp cheddar. I like about this stuff right here, number one, it has a nice robust taste to it, has a bit of sweetness to it. But the more important thing about it, it has a slight saltiness to it, which you can pair well with just about anything. It's pretty much your Swiss Army knife of cheese. Where if you want to put on a burger, it goes well with a burger. If you want to put it with your breakfast and put it with your egg, it goes with your egg. If you want to have it with a nice IPA, which I know a lot of you people love out there, it goes well with an IPA. So it's a pretty simple but effective cheese. And the thing that makes it so good is the fact that it's aged. And when you have a cheese that's aged, it starts to refine flavor. And it has a very unique sharpness to it, or a unique bitterness to it. So when you look for cheese and you look for a particular aged cheddar, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for aged cheddar. You can have sharp cheddar, which is good, but it's not going to be as flavorful and as impactful that you would if you have an aged cheddar. And you have about 3 or 4 different types. You have your year-old, your 9-month, and your 3-year-old cheddar. So when you're looking for cheddar, you want to look for these. And you can pretty much find them at any convenience store that you go to. I normally go to Whole Foods, but you can find them there and at Nugget and at grocery outlet if you have it. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next cheese that we have. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is Feta. Feta is one of my personal favorites. This is your wet cheese that's soft, and it's also one of your saltiest cheeses. This one is the stuff you use for maybe pasta, spaghetti, things like that, pizza, if you will. It's this big block right over here, very tasty. The particular Feta we have is tomato and basil. Though I use this personally for when I'm making traditional pizzas. So like maybe red sauce or white sauce, things like that. I'll also blend it well with other things, like maybe if you're doing a fettuccine or Alfredo. Also, one of the things that makes it unique is the Mediterranean flavor, the Mediterranean background of it. So when you're playing with things like this, you gotta be careful though, because with Feta, they can overpower your flavor profile. And if you use too much, it's almost like ginger. If you use too much, you're gonna get diminished returns on it. So you want to be careful with that. You want to make sure that when you use Feta, get the smaller cubes of it. Don't get the real big blocks of it. All right, and the last cheese we're going to talk about, it's a cheese I like, but it's not my favorite. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's a wine-soaked aged cheddar. And what that is cheddar that's been soaked in a particular wine. This one is a red wine, a Pinot Noir, and it has a very distinct flavor. I wouldn't really use it with much. As far as like pairing it with a food or anything of that nature, it's more of a, what you would call a charcuterie cheese. Which for people who don't know what charcuterie is when you take deli meat and cheese and put them on a board, and you can kind of enjoy them with other things, with fruit, nuts, things like that. So that's what this would normally be for that, or actually a wine cheese. So if you're into wine pairing, it's a good cheese to go for red that you have. Also, it would be used for a breakfast cheese. So France, stuff like that, they would use something like this for breakfast to go on a bagel and go. But it's still a cheddar at heart. So it's still going to have the flavor of a cheddar where it's sweet. You can have a sweet, salty flavor profile that you can identify with, but it's gonna have the wine overpowering all of that. Because you're gonna take more wine than anything else. But so if you want to pair it with something, a red wine will go well with it. Other than that, I just wanted to holler at y'all about that real quick and just let you know how my brain works on these things. It might be a reoccurring series we might do or might not. You let me know in the comment below and tell me what your favorite cheese is, and we'll talk about it, yeah?